was a political scandal straight out of a soap opera. The revelation that Senator and presidential hopeful John Edwards was having an affair, fathering a child while his wife battled cancer. The vilified woman at the center of it, videographer Rielle Hunter. After years away from the spotlight, she returns with her 8-year-old daughter to discuss how they found happiness and to sell a book. Here's ABC's Amy Robach.
I think what bothers me the most was the meanness of it all. The lack of compassion and understanding that happens when people make mistakes or people do things. Everyone judges and jumps on you so fast.
Composed and subdued, Rielle Hunter today seems a far cry from the woman at the center of a political sex scandal.
What have the last few years been like?
Everything I do now is based upon being a mom first, and my choices, how they are going to impact Quinn.
Quinn, the little girl she had with North Carolina Senator and presidential hopeful John Edwards, is now 8 years old.
You've said that Quinn is aware of everything that went on. It's her history, and it was hard to avoid with all of the media attention and the paparazzi. How are you doing, Quinn?
Great.
Have you managed to create a normal life?
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have people circling you, pointing?
No, not circling. Every once in a while something will pop up, but no, it's wonderful.
But years ago, it was anything but. Hunter, the infamous mistress of John Edwards, the brazen and boyish politician who got tripped up in a web of lies that captivated the country for years.
The story's false. It's completely untrue.
Not true. Not true.
I don't respond to these lies.
What's your relationship like now with John?
We're very, very good friends and great co-parents, and we have the same goals. We want the best for Quinn.
Every time you've been asked this question, do you love John? You've always said yes.
Oh, absolutely. I view him as my family. I mean, he's family. I absolutely love him. We'll always love him.
And what kind of a dad is your dad?
He's a great dad.
How often do you get to see him?
As often as I can.
Tell me about the relationship you see between John and Quinn.
I think he has a real soft spot for her. He does. He gets very choked up by her. It's sweet.
Back in 2006, the charismatic candidate with a storybook marriage and his eyes on the White House.
I declare myself a candidate for President of the United States.
But he begins an affair with Rielle Hunter, just as his wife is battling breast cancer for the second time.
I love her. Been married to her for 30 years. I'd do anything for her. And she is completely committed to this cause. This is the cause of our lives.
In front of the camera, Edwards is working his family man image.
She's the most extraordinary person I've ever known.
But behind the scenes, the affair continues. Rielle is hired as a videographer, accompanying Edwards on the campaign trail.
That is a great speech.
In 2007, the National Enquirer breaks the story.
The story's false. It's completely untrue. I've been in love with the same woman for 30 plus years, as anybody who's been around us knows. She's an extraordinary human being.
Rielle becomes pregnant, and the lies keep stacking up. But in 2008, Edwards finally comes clean to ABC's Bob Woodruff.
Did you have an affair with Miss Hunter?
In 2006, 2 years ago, I made a very serious mistake. A mistake that I am responsible for and no one else.
A report has been published that the baby of Miss Hunter is your baby. True?
Not true. Not true. Published in a supermarket tabloid. But no, that is absolutely not true.
Does Elizabeth think this is possibly your baby?
No, of course not.
No way.
No. She knows it's not.
In 2010, Edwards would publicly admit that Quinn is his daughter, a sweet and innocent girl born into a scandal she never asked for. She's speaking in public for the first time, sharing her love of horses in a new children's book, How We Do It.
He thinks he's a fancy show horse, and he's just a pony.
What did he teach you? Did Howie teach you something?
He taught me how to be a better rider and how to find happiness.
But for Rielle, finding happiness after that public and humiliating battering has been a process.
It was interesting. I looked the last time you spoke to ABC News, it was 2012. Your memoir came out, and interestingly enough, it was an election year then. It's an election year now. Coincidence?
Complete. Completely.
Are you concerned at all, though, by writing this book, even with the positive message that it will bring up some of the ugly parts of your past and something you'll have to relive and talk about again.
When you make a mistake, you have to take responsibility for it, say you're sorry, forgive yourself, and then move on. Would I do that again? No way.
You told George back in 2012, knowing what you know now, that you wouldn't do it. But that would mean no Quinn.
Yeah. Well, life happens the way it's supposed to happen. But if it was to happen again, it's just like I'm not the same person anymore.
Yeah. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, you absolutely do. I have. And I hope to teach Quinn that.
What have you learned from your mom, Quinn?
That it's okay to make mistakes and not to be hard on myself.
For Nightline, I'm Amy Robach in New York.